Good morning, team. Now, firstly, I have zero idea whether you're actually going to be able to hear me or not. I have my Bluetooth headphones in, and I can't remember whether they connect for lives or whether they don't. So, with any luck, you'll be able to hear me and we'll have a great time together. Before we get into it, check out this view. I know that you've jumped on to hear about my thoughts and advice on pay what you want marketing campaigns, but how can I not show you that? Because it's absolutely stunning. So this morning I wanted to have a bit of a chat about pay what you want marketing campaigns, because I am seeing a lot of them coming through my news feeds. Through paid ads, through content marketing. I'm having a lot of people ask me about how they could run one or whether they should do that. And I wanted to have a bit of a chat with you around whether you should run a pay what you want marketing campaign and potentially why you shouldn't. So if you don't know what a pay what you want marketing campaign is, essentially I see them predominantly for business owners who have got a service-based business. Either it's a one-on-one service or can be like a package, and essentially it is a literally pay what you want for the service that is on offer. So it's very literal, right? And I started seeing these coming out more or less once I think maybe they've come out of America. I started seeing a lot of them once kind of COVID hit through the States. And thought that was a really interesting, marketing strategy to be able to continue to get people to invest in services. And this was predominantly more in the online space. I've now seen them filtering through more in the person-to-person space. So I guess when I first started seeing them, I thought, what a fascinating idea. You know, I kind of love the concept, probably more from coaches who were wanting to run these campaigns to be able to, continue to help people through such challenging times, but obviously recognizing that a lot was going on and potentially finances were a bit of a stretch, or other priorities were kind of coming into play. So people wanted to be able to continue to support their community and support their followers by, lowering their pricing and offering more pay what you want kind of around that. Now, I've continued to see this rolled out, and as I mentioned at the start, I have quite a few people that are asking me for my thoughts on the whole strategy. And I guess if you've got questions about this, please drop them below. But what my view is, plain and simple, you know me, I'm blunt as, I don't like them. I don't like them because I feel like I don't like them as a business coach. Sorry, let me think about how to say this politely. I don't like them as a business coach and a marketing strategist because, you're running a business that needs to make X amount of money to be profitable, and then, of course, actually bring in X amount of money to be paying your salary. You already work so incredibly hard as it is to be able to generate that income for your business. And when you start running pay what you want campaigns, you are going to be putting a whole lot more energy into marketing that campaign for a lesser amount. Now, I understand that it's probably coming from a really good place in your heart in terms of why you're wanting to run these. But essentially, you've got to look at your return on investment of how much time and your energy that you're putting in to be running campaigns that are necessarily, they might bring you $10 back for 10 hours of your time, which would normally be $1,000, right? So that's a lot, of energetic discounting, time discounting, where you could be utilizing it in other areas, focusing on full paying clients and bringing them in, or spending it enjoying your life, as opposed to just literally gifting your time and energy and expertise away for people. If you're doing it as a way to be able to build your database back up, again, I don't love it for this reason. And if you know my thoughts on using kind of platforms like Groupon or Scoopon or anything like that to be able to generate business. These, when we discount, I hate discounting, so I'm never ever going to encourage anyone to do it. I'm all for value. But if we've got service businesses and we are discounting, which is essentially what a pay what you want type of offer is, we may be doing it to grow our business, to get more clients on the phone or through the door or what have you. And then our idea might be, oh, well, these guys might convert into longer paying clients for us. And the reality is that is unlikely to happen too. Because if somebody comes along and let's say it normally is $100 for an hour of your time, and they decide to pay $5 for that hour because that's what they can contribute, it is very unlikely that they are going to turn around in a week or a fortnight or a month or however long it is to go from a $5 investment to a $100 investment. And platforms like Groupon are very similar, right? You can run campaigns. I once had a client who was a massage therapist who was involved with Groupon, and she was flat out, but they weren't her ideal clients because no one ever rebooked because they never wanted to pay full pricing. And pay what you want marketing strategies are very similar in terms of attracting that type of person who was always just going to want to be paying that $5 or $10 or $1 or whatever it is that they're paying, as opposed to paying that full price. So I guess, they're probably two of my reasons so far in terms of why I don't love pay what you want marketing campaigns. Now, my third and final reason why I don't love them is because it's icky, right? So I like to know how much something costs. I like to know that when I go to the supermarket, my apples are going to cost $4.99 a kilo. I need 6 apples. If I want to, I can weigh them and work out how much that's going to cost me. I know, it is a great exchange. It's a very literal exchange, and there are no questions around it. And I don't have to say to myself, am I paying the right amount? Am I giving too little? Am I giving too much? How much should I be paying here? So as a consumer, that is exactly what goes through my head when I see pay what you want marketing campaigns. And I've seen some great people put these campaigns out there. And but it's okay, so how much does this normally cost? And then I would sit there going, well, I wonder how much other people have been paying. This is obviously, it's a bit of a gift. It's a generous offer to be able to pay probably less than what the full price would normally be. Does that mean that I pay 20%? Does it mean I pay 50%? Does it mean I pay more than what it normally is because I loved that service so much or that time with that person? And it just creates uncertainty. And if you know anything about the energy of money and business, we want certainty in our businesses, right? And therefore our customers and clients want certainty as well. And this is coming from me with my buying hat on, not necessarily my business strategist hat. It's simply that when I see offers like that, I think that they're really lovely. I think they're really generous. With my business coach hat on, I don't love them. With my consumer hat on, I would personally, it doesn't matter whether it was the Queen of England, who I love and adore. Even if she was offering something where it was pay what you want, I would feel awkward, and I wouldn't want to insult the person who was offering that service by not giving them the amount in which they believe they're worth, which they would normally charge me, or what I believe that they would be worth on a normal day-to-day basis. So if you are running one of these campaigns or you're thinking about it, put yourself also into your customer's shoe or your client's shoe and ask yourself, if you were going to do a pay what you want offer, how would you feel about that? And how would you decide how much you would pay? And would that make you feel awkward? Probably would. And if it doesn't, then that's cool. You go ahead and give that a whirl. So that is, I guess, what I wanted to have a chat with everyone about today. What to do instead is to focus on attracting your ideal customers and clients at the price in which you charge, right? So I understand that we're in unprecedented times at the moment. I understand that some people have lost their jobs. If we're looking at some services, they're definitely more luxury as opposed to, kind of need. So I understand that maybe we're having to think outside of the box in order to be able to continue to grow our businesses. But what that means is that it's also really exciting because people are still spending money. It's not like everyone's just all of a sudden stopped buying luxury items. I've slipped on my neck bunny. I'm going to have to go and get somebody to help me out with that. So therefore, I'm going to invest in the price that person charges for me to be able to have that problem solved, and value it because I love it, right? But I guess, if we're looking at it like my clients are down, or I'm trying to bring, new people into my business, think of this as a really exciting time, right? Maybe you've got repeat clients or customers that aren't purchasing or coming to see you like they normally would. But isn't it fabulous that gives you the time and opportunity to be able to, welcome someone new into your business, to enjoy the experience with you and to get the value in which they'll be paying for at a full price? I guess it's continuing to look outside the box. Look at what you've done in the past that has been successful, and follow those same strategies that you've done, and believe in them, because they're not going to not work, right? We haven't just completely changed the way in which we buy or the way that we spend our money or the way that we invest. But it is really about continuing to get your ideal customers and clients to get to know, like, and trust you, being consistent if you're growing in an online space, continuing to talk about people's problems and how you solve them, and letting people know how it is that they can go about finding out more about your services and, booking in with you too. So if you have questions, then please go down below, drop your comments. Let me know if you have run a Pay What You Want campaign. I'd love to know how that went for you, and what your thoughts are. And if you've been thinking about one, let me know if this has kind of changed your mind or given you different things to think about. And if you completely disagree with me, then also tell me that too. I love having healthy discussions and hearing other people's point of views. But either way, I'd love to hear what your thoughts are. Let me know what your biggest takeaway out of this would be. And other than that, thank you for enjoying in this amazing view with me. And I look forward to talking to you guys later. Have a great day. Bye.